Today I'm going to show you how to make almost a full color wheel using phthalo turquoise, quinacridone magenta, and Hansa yellow. All three of these oil colors are transparent pigments, so they reflect back very little light until you put white into them. But once white is put into them, they reflect back their pure color. A lot of artists have discovered that if you put down the three colors that we think of as the primary colors, ultramarine blue or a cobalt blue, some form of yellow, typically a cadmium yellow, and what seems like a clean red, which would typically be a cadmium red, or maybe if you're lucky an alizarin, that you still aren't able to get a full range of colors. And that is because all of those colors, or all oil colors that are pigments, contain other colors in them. They reflect back more than just their color. So most, if not all, oil colors reflect back not only the color that we're referring to, but there are other colors in there. For example, phthalo turquoise is reflecting back both yellow and blue. But it's so close to the cyan that we use in electronics that you'll find we can actually mix a wider variety of colors if we use colors like phthalo turquoise and quinacridone magenta. I would go so far as to say that the traditional colors that we've thought of as our primary colors aren't the primary colors at all. They were just the closest thing that we had at the time. Notice where these paints are really thin. I've now got a green, something like a blue, a purple, and a hot pink. If I were to take enough white and mix it with quinacridone magenta and phthalo turquoise in the perfect balance, I'll vary between green, blue, and purple. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and make up the purple that's in the middle of these two colors, adding a little bit more phthalo green to one side. Notice when I scrape away, notice how blue that looks. And now if I add more magenta to the other side, I can get a variety of purples. And if I once again add white to the phthalo side, I can get some nice bright greens. Before I move on to these greens and show you how beautiful those will be, notice that if we use some of these quinacridone colors like quinacridone magenta or quinacridone violet, quinacridone red is also very useful, we can get hot pinks that can be a challenge to achieve with other types of red. The reason for that is that pink has an incredibly low strength. It's a color that doesn't make it back to the eye because of the spectrum, where it falls in the spectrum. It's disrupted by water in the environment, but it's also disrupted by any color that gets mixed with it. Now I'm coming up with a beautiful orange and moving my way over to a nice, warm, bright yellow. But before I move on from the orange, I'm going to take just the quinacridone magenta on a nice clean knife with plenty of yellow and see if I can make a little brighter orange. Oh, excuse me. I skipped red. So notice that I can make red. You see that red? A nice bright red that I made from what colors? I made it from quinacridone magenta and Hansa yellow. There's a gorgeous orange in between. So from Hansa yellow and quinacridone magenta, I can make orange and a variety of reds. From quinacridone magenta and Hansa yellow, I can make a variety of reds, oranges, and different yellows. Now let's move over to the other side with phthalo turquoise and Hansa yellow. Phthalo turquoise and Hansa yellow mixed together to make nice bright greens. Here, the yellow is mixed with just the phthalo turquoise, but here the phthalo turquoise has a bit of white in it. Once again, I can make some nice bright purples and even darker blues if I take the time to mix phthalo turquoise and quinacridone magenta. I can get blues like that are just about as bright as an ultramarine. So if I can mix these three colors, phthalo turquoise, Hansa yellow, and quinacridone magenta, to make red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, purple, multiple shades of blue, pink, and even hot pink, that's the widest variety I've been able to make, is with these three colors.